So you want to be a dictator, huh? Hey, no problem. I got you covered with this proven, surefire formula that has worked over and over and over again. But let's not guess what works. No. Let's dive into history and see what we can learn to get really smart about this. Hey, it'll be fun, and I might even get you to laugh or cry. It's your choice. So stick with me, because by the end of this easy, free 7-step guide, you'll not only know how to seize power, but you'll also recognize the red flags of dictators in real life, so you can stop them before they go full tyrant on your ass. Step 1, exploit a crisis. First things first, you need a good crisis. No dictator ever rose to power without one. Whether it's an economic collapse, social unrest, or hey, even a global pandemic. Sound familiar? Chaos is always your best friend. If there isn't a crisis, don't sweat it. Just create one. Here, pro tip, manufacture fear. Spread rumors about external threats or internal enemies. The more scared the people are, the more likely they'll turn to you for leadership. I mean, think of it like a horror movie. You're the hero. You are the only one that can step in to save them from the monster. I mean, take Adolf Hitler, for example. Post-World War I Germany, it was in shambles, unemployment, inflation, humiliation. And what did Hitler do? He offered himself as the savior in Germany's time of need. Boom! There you go, dictatorship. Crisis? Check. Now, time to save the day. Well, sort of. Step 2, control the media and the narrative. Now that people are freaked out, it's time to control what they hear and see. Why let pesky facts get in your way of your rise to power? I mean, you'll need to silence journalists and take control of the news cycle. Here are some key moves to do that. Call any negative stories about you fake news. Hey, it's simple, it's effective, and you can use it every time someone says something you don't like. This totally worked for Hitler, calling the media lying press. Castro in Cuba saying only the state-run media could be trusted, and Chavez in Venezuela shutting down independent news outlets. See? There's a method to this. Now, take over the state-run media and fill it with propaganda, preferably glowing reports about how amazing you are. You get bonus points for creating distractions. Confuse the public with outrageous conspiracy theories. Distracted people don't ask tough questions. Look at Vladimir Putin. He mastered media manipulation, keeping tight control of Russian state-run media while discrediting his critics. He's kept himself in power for decades this way. It's easy peasy. Step 3, consolidate power like a boss. Time to get serious. You're on your way, but to truly become a dictator, you'll need to centralize all the power. Democracy? So overrated. You want to make the decisions without anyone telling you no. Here's a pro tip. Declare an emergency. That crisis you've been milking, use it to grant yourself emergency powers. Tell people it's temporary, but spoiler alert, it's not. Step up your game. Eliminate term limits, or better yet, just cancel elections altogether. Why deal with the hassle of opponents when you can just make sure you stay in charge forever? Here's a case study. Remember how Hitler did it? He passed the Enabling Act of 1933, allowing him to bypass Parliament and make laws on his own. Boom! Just like that. No more democracy. So declare an emergency. It's like a dictatorship cheat code. Step 4, silence the haters. All right, some people still aren't on board. Don't worry. It's time to silence your critics, but be smart about it. You don't want to look like a dictator yet. So start small. Here's how you do it. Arrest your political opponents on vague charges like treason or threats to national security. If they disappear, even better. Shut down protests with a little tear gas here and a little police brutality there. Just enough to send a message. And keep people paranoid. Set up surveillance and make it clear that you're watching. The more paranoid they are, the less likely they are to speak out. And here's a boss bonus move. Take a page from Augusto Pinochet in Chile. He didn't mess around, disappearing thousands of political opponents during his reign to ensure no one challenged his rule. Now that's commitment. Now, Take a sip of water. Hydration is always key to dictatorship, so take a drink. Step 5, create a scapegoat. Here's where things get fun. To really solidify your position, you need to unite the people behind a common enemy. Someone to blame for all the country's problems. Hey, it doesn't really matter who. Immigrants, a minority group, or even your political opponents will do. Here's a pro tip. Blame everything on your chosen scapegoat. National crisis? Their fault. Economic woes? Their fault. Definitely them. Can't find your car keys? Yeah, their fault. Hey, look at Hitler. He blamed the Jews for Germany's downfall, creating a rallying cry for the nation to unite under his brutal leadership. It's a classic move that never fails. All right, step 6, promise simple solutions. This is the cherry on top. People are stressed, the country's a mess, and all they want are easy fixes. And you know what? You're going to give them exactly what they want to hear. Whether or not you can actually deliver, well, that's a different story. Pro tip, offer oversimplified solutions to complex problems. Tell people that with just a few tweaks, it's like getting rid of your scapegoat or passing a few new laws. You'll fix everything. Mussolini did this brilliantly in Italy, promising to make Italy great again. Well, he actually promoted the new Roman Empire. Mussolini was all about bringing back Italy's old empire days, and that was a big focus in his speeches and his propaganda. He proposed to do this through economic reform and military revival. Feel free to fact check me. But the guy held on to power for over 20 years. Step 7, stay in power no matter what. You've made it, you're in charge. But here's the thing. Absolute power doesn't maintain itself. You've got to work at it and make sure you stay on top. So sow distrust in elections, if you bother to hold them at all. You've got to win every time 100% of the vote. Sounds totally legit, right? Use the military or police to crush any uprisings. Tanks in the street never fail to remind people who's boss. And thank China for the strategy. It works. Hey, pro tip, follow the lead of North Korea. They've gotten the dictatorship game down to an art form. Generations of Kims have ruled with absolute authority thanks to a mix of personality cults and fear. Want to take your dictatorship to the next level? Try these advanced techniques for free. Rewrite history. Literally remove all the bad stuff you've done from the history books and make yourself the hero of every chapter. Cult of personality. Statues, portraits, and even a few songs written about you. It's all about making people believe you're larger than life. Remember, the bigger your ego, the smaller everyone else feels. Imagine if Hitler had merch, right? He'd totally sell t-shirts with slogans like, obey the mustache, or I came, I saw, I conquered, and you better like it. And there you have it, your foolproof guide to becoming a dictator. Hey, it's not easy, but with the right mix of fear-mongering, manipulation, and just a little bit of brute force, hey, you'll be ruling with an iron fist in no time. But let's be serious for a second. The real point here is to spot the warning signs before it becomes too late. Democracies can slip into dictatorship slowly. And if you're not paying attention, it can happen right under your nose. So stay informed, stay vigilant, and watch for those red flags. Thanks for watching How to Become a Dictator for Dummies. And don't forget to subscribe. Well, that is unless you've already banned free speech in your country. See you in the next video, and here are a few more that you can watch. Let's keep democracy alive. See ya!